Hello, it's Monday, March 9th, and that means two things. We all survived the first day of the worst week for car accidents, and it's time for a light read Nailed's newsletter read-along companion series, brought to you by Keystone Technologies. This week we're talking about their occupancy sensors. These are brand new, very much improved PAR high base sensors with standby dimming functionality, full on off, and daylight override features. And as great as they are on their own, you do have the option to buy these pre-installed in any of their LED high base fixtures. That's KeystoneTech.com or link in the description. But let's get into the news. The demand for LED tubes is set to grow by 15% by 2026. That's according to Credence Research. iMark, their showcase in Chicago on the 24th, that's canceled, citing concerns around the coronavirus. Leducation, still on track for now, but the latest memo has a bunch of guidelines from the CDC you might want to double check on. So if you're feeling bad, don't show. Speaking of coronavirus, demand for LED lighting has dropped by about 15% this half of the year. Lighting vendors are placing fewer OEM orders due to supply issues. Deco Lighting has released their Chapter 11 restructuring plan. They've already announced their bankruptcy, but now you can read the whole plan. The EPA has created a smart home program, so they're expanding the Energy Star to include smart home energy management systems, which will certify that your connected devices are actually going to save you energy. Efficiency investment is actually down, at least from utilities and program managers. Spending's down about 16%. This is according to a survey of 600 groups. The DIIA debuts the certification for tunable white drivers. The DALI 2 controls certification has been expanded to include color tuning. Emery Allen and Tom Garber have launched their own podcast. It's called Light It Up. It's making its way onto the major networks, but you can catch it on their website or Anchor right now. They just dropped their first 3 episodes on the same day, because that was what you were supposed to do like 6 years ago. Anyway, welcome to the club. Speaking of podcasts, episode 125, A Get a Grip on Lighting, is available. This is with Xelium and an ICO company, Sanjeev Thakkar and Steve Holman, talking about the Xi-Fi protocol and what Xelium fixtures can do for you. Lumion has settled their patent lawsuit with WAC. Lumion will not be selling or distributing landscape lighting products as they were accused of ripping off in October. Union Metal changes owners and restructures. This is one of the oldest streetscape lighting manufacturers. They've been sold to a PE firm, McVestments. McVestments owners will now be on the board of directors. The NLB panel has done a little discussion on lighting for seniors. This is with Robert Soler and Terry McGowan. The LISA Center has received a DOE grant, $74 million in funding for Robert Karlichek's smart occupancy system. CEDIA has released their residential tech report. Smart home market kind of in decline right now, or at least compared to last year, but 11% more lighting projects are including motorized window treatments, something to look out for. Sinora creates a better blue emitter. This is for OLEDs. This is their first commercial product, and it's a fluorescent blue emitter that's 15% more effective than their competitors. The NLB, not to be too quiet, has released another panel, this time on near-infrared lighting. Robert Soler's back, and Scott Zimmerman joins him to discuss the importance of the NIR in terms of your health. Laura Peters at Signs of the Times writes about finding the right color of white for your outdoor signs. New research in virtual light communications in industrial spaces. This is a team at Fraunhofer, IOSB, INA, and Ostwestfalen-Lippe are studying light-based communications in automated factories. Mercury Lighting has raised $18,000 for the Walk to Conquer Cancer. This is a walkathon run by the Princess Margaret Hospital. Why did Acuity stock crash? Lee Samahara will explain to us why. I suspect it has something to do with, I don't know, supply chain issues. But yeah, they're down. Their value is down considerably over the past 2 months. Engie has partnered with Wirepass and InOcean. This is a Dutch smart lighting startup, and they're bolstering their offerings by working with wireless mesh and sensor specialists. Things you need to know about rebates in Minnesota. There's 5 of them, and there's a bunch of 5 kinds of incentives you should know about. Linux Foundation backs utilities. This is LF Energy, new division of the Linux Foundation, is creating open source tools for smart grids. Half the fun of Linux is keeping it running. I'm sure that's going to be great for your municipality. The University of Dayton has received $1.2 million in utility rebates last year, and they spent almost half of it on lighting and controls projects. The smart lighting market is set to reach $30 billion in the next 5 years. This is from Verified Market Research. New York City has passed a new conservation code. Properties in the city will have to meet a minimum efficiency requirements starting May 12th. Indutrade has acquired Nortronic AS. Indutrade makes components. Nortronic makes lighting. The deal went down for just a little bit under $600,000. Building benchmarks work. Back to Minnesota, Minneapolis has started requiring energy reports a few years back, and energy use is down about 5.5%. Only you can ensure product certifications. Marty Cole gives a great little talk about how installation and maintenance factors are part of certifications. So keep that in mind. Delaware offers new grants for efficiency. The Energy Efficiency Investment Fund will cover up to 30% of a non-residential project. I suppose the product too, but the labor as well. Nova Scotia to fund year-round farming projects. This is a new agriculture business advancer program, and they just threw $300,000 at a greenhouse to go LED for year-round indoor veggies. LED's magazine is looking for rising stars. They've got a new 40 under 40 list coming together. If you know someone like that, nominate them. Case study from Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Woodman Life Tower featuring 14,000 color changing LEDs. See what it takes to keep that running. Stockholm is on track to becoming the smartest city. This is a 20-year plan, and they're starting off with Itron lights and grid meters. Rapid City is starting their streetlight project downtown. This is 400 new light fixtures going up in the city center. Montpelier tracks light pollution. They put together 20 volunteers to walk around the streets of downtown to point at signs that were breaking the dark sky and light pollution laws. Newark, New York has finished their streetlight project. Not quite 1,400 lamps switched over. City expects to save about $2 million in energy and maintenance by doing that. San Antonio has a new incentive program for efficiency products. The PACE program will pay for your upgrades entirely and then let you pay that back to them as part of your property taxes for on as long a scale as about 30 years. Brevo has purchased Parakeet. That's Parakeet, the company, not a bird. This is a physical security firm buying a smart building platform holder. Klasky Light Fixtures has a new program for residential and hospitality projects. These are trade specials and same-day shipping options if you partner up with them. Orion has filed a universal shelf registration. My apologies. Orion files universal shelf registration statement. This is with the SEC, offering $100 million in debt securities, stock warrants, and other securities to replace their soon-to-expire shelf registration. So, financial security and such. I am not a finance reporter. I'm sorry. North American Lighting establishes a scholarship at the UNA. So this is a $5,000 benefit to a sophomore or junior engineering student at the University of North Alabama. There are not enough scholarships for for non-freshmen. I'm just going to say that out there. Lexington, Kentucky, going LED. This is 31,000 street lamps. Project will cost not quite $900,000, but save about $100,000 a year. Somfy and Osram have partnered on lighting management tools. These are unified controls for smart blinds and smart lights. Back to that 11% from Cedia. Manage indoor and outdoor light, I guess. Palm Beach is to limit lighting this summer. You know, we could have called this show Streetlights and Sea Turtles. This is a town ordinance that require beachside properties to shield or extinguish all light that might confuse sea turtles from March till November. Orbit Industries has new reps in Tennessee. It's Electrosales. They're covering the central and eastern parts of the state. Security Intelligence, John Wheeler, writes about new cybersecurity frameworks in the IoT. Good thing to keep an eye on. Saudi Arabia is launching their own dark sky preserve. This is at the Red Sea Project, which is a big tourism bid for the kingdom. I think I'd rather go to Idaho. Jasper, Alberta town, is also going LED. They've got 500 streetlights to change. And the world's largest cricket stadium is also going LED. This is 580 luminaires for a 110,000-seat stadium in Ahmedabad, India. Paris is on the verge of banning light-based advertising on streets. This is video displays, lit displays for advertising on streets and metro stations. The mayoral candidates are sincerely debating this. And Sign and Digital Graphics Professionals magazine wants you to stand out at trade shows. They've got some tips for making your booth pop. Meanwhile, in terms of hirings, promotions, and departures, we've got Kurt Puffpaff expanding his responsibilities at ALP. He's now also the brand manager for Lexolite. GE has named Donald Chip Taylor as Chief Commercial Officer. Preston Wells has left Dialite for Stryker. Cortec Group has hired Michelle Tokars as Director of Business Development. And Acuity has named Diane Mills as Chief Human Resources Officer. And that's the Light Read. I'm Scott Wachter, brought to you by Nailed. If you're not a member, please join. It's more than just me talking about the news. And once again, thank you to our sponsor, Keystone. Check the link in the description. Until next week, leave a rating. Catch you next time.